Next, I wanted to bring up Tony. Tony, you spent a greater part of the year making this film. Can you tell us a little bit about the background and all of the tidbits of the film?
Well, again, I want to thank everyone for coming today. I am an immigrant that I came here when I was 12 years old. So in a way, I started this journey when I was 12 because I came to America, did not speak a word of English. And, you know, I had to adjust a lot. I had to assimilate. And I became a filmmaker, and I started doing TV commercials and feature films and all that. That was about 20 years ago. And I remember 20 years ago, I wrote a script with Asian characters, and it was turned down everywhere because I actually heard people saying nobody want to see all Asians on screen because it's just not normal. That's what I got from a lot of the Hollywood companies. So I end up doing a lot of TV or commercials that are based on Caucasian characters. Okay, so but a few years ago, window opened a little bit with Crazy Rich Asian. People realize, hey, it's all Asian cast and it makes a lot of money. So people actually want to see Asian characters, or people just want to see good movie. So we had a chance, sort of a window to develop, something Asian American. So we had a chance to do this film about Asian American documentary, sort of talk about a little bit about the sort of stereotype and bias toward Asian Americans. And I wanted to do the story because actually my kids, because they were around 12 or 13 years old, and that's when I came. And I sort of, growing up that time, I was really confused because I felt like an outsider, and I felt like I don't belong. And that's basically how I felt growing up, because everyone always teases you, call you names, and you just kind of feel like that's the norm. But I don't want my kids to feel like that. So I wanted to do a film to let them know you got to be proud of yourself. You can be Asian and you can also be American. So the film, The Race Epidemic, is sort of about a history of Asian Americans past in America, leading up to current. But this was before COVID. And then COVID hit. And everything started to make more sense in a way because all these attacks, they didn't just happen all suddenly because a president called it, Chinese virus. This goes all the way back to 100 years ago, this stigmatized toward the Chinese or Asians. And you can see that through the history. So that's how that film came about. And I'm very proud of that film in a way because at the time, we did not get any support. But recently, as Diana said, we got picked up by PBS. And PBS has a system where all the stations around the nation vote to see if they want to play this film. Normally, they said, if 100 stations want to show your film, that's really good. Like Ken Burns, they get like 100, 200. And even to the distributor, American Public Television, surprise, we got 449 stations want to see the film. So that is going to be very powerful. And as we talked about, a lot of it is not really they hate us or anything. It's just misunderstanding, just difference of culture. So being able for people to see us and understand us, and we're not invisible, that is very powerful. And because of that film, lead me to this film, because I wanted to do something, not just make us the victim. I mean, the race epidemic was talking about the history of racism, xenophobia. I want to move on beyond that. I want to change the narrative. It's not the narrative of us being the victim getting picked on, but it's us being the leader and us leading the future. And where else would be a better place than talk about Silicon Valley's leadership, AAPI's leadership, and their contribution to what's going on in Silicon Valley and the future. So I'm very proud to be able to do this film. I'm very fortunate to have all my executive producers and all my cast here supporting the film. And I hope we can continue to do more episodes because one film's not going to make that much impact. If we can continue doing the film, people will see us. Representation matters. And going around the country, people, we might think, because I live in Los Angeles and San Francisco, San Jose, we have a big Asian population. So we're kind of in a bubble in a way that Asian culture accepted, really. So, but if you go to, some other part of the country, you can see we're really, really minority. And people really have a sort of a stereotypical sort of image of us. So I hope the race epidemic and this film, Builders of the Silicon Dream, which is based on Builders of the American Dream, will play around the country and people get to see us, and like Joe says, will understand our culture too. Thank you.